Hello and welcome everybody. In today's video, I'm going to be going over my predictions and theories as to how likely each and every character in Stranger Things Season 5 has to die. So as you can see right here from this image that I made, here is a tier list that I made, and I rated how likely each and every character in Stranger Things is to die. And now in each category of the tier list, I did not rank them in that category. So if the character is in, for example, very unlikely to die, I believe that they are all very unlikely to die. There's no order within each tier of the tier list. But without any further ado, let's get straight into the video. So up first, I'm going to be talking about 11, and I believe that 11 is actually quite likely to die in Season 5. And reasons about this that I actually have is because we all know that the Upside Down started with 11, and it could very possibly be ending with 11. We could see 11 sacrifice herself to save everyone, and maybe sacrifice herself to actually close the gate and end the Upside Down for good. We know that she knows that she was the one who started the Upside Down, and she quite possibly could believe that all the deaths were on her, so she might want to be the hero and actually save everybody in Stranger Things, like save everybody in Hawkins and stop more people from actually dying. And up next, here we actually do have Vecna. So I believe that Vecna is almost guaranteed to die. So we know that Vecna is the main villain of Stranger Things, and he will be the main villain in Season 5, I believe. And I do believe that he's basically guaranteed to die. We know that Vecna did actually get shot by Nancy in Season 4, so he has been injured by Nancy, but we know that Vecna will most likely have healed since then, and he could also have gotten much more stronger. So I do believe that Vecna will most definitely have victims of his own, if not him killing them and Demogorgons killing them. But I believe that Vecna will definitely kill people in Season 5, and I reckon Vecna also will die in Season 5. I reckon that Vecna will not win, and I do believe that the main party will actually defeat Vecna in some way. So I do believe that Vecna is almost guaranteed to die, whether that be through 11 killing him with her powers, or 11 sacrificing herself to save everyone, or another character killing Vecna, or the group killing Vecna. Vecna could die in a large majority of ways, or maybe Vecna would even die if 11 seals the portal, or 11 could even seal herself in the portal and be trapped in the Upside Down forever, which will kill Vecna. So that is definitely a possibility. And up next, I am talking about Will Byers, and I actually believe that Will Byers is quite likely to die. And as we know that Will does have a connection to the Upside Down, as Will was the person to have gone missing in the Upside Down, Will does have quite a connection, as he has been possessed by the Mind Flayer, and he does get those goosebumps and chills on the back of his neck whenever there is an Upside Down presence. So this could make it more likely for Vecna to target Will. We know that in the trailer, Will did actually faint. We are not sure as to why he has fainted at the moment, but this could have possibly been him being possessed by Vecna, and this is him fainting following his possession. Or it could be he got attacked by a Demogorgon or a Demodog. That is very possible, but I do believe that he is quite likely to die, and the reason for his death, I do believe that if Will is to die, I believe that a reason for his death could very possibly be that Vecna has possessed him and attacked him, or Vecna could be overtaken by the Mind Flayer like he was in Season 2, and the Mind Flayer could kill Will. So Will definitely has a lot of possible ways that he could die. And here we have Hopper, and I actually think that Hopper is very unlikely to die. There are some people out there that think Hopper will die probably, but I think he is very unlikely to die. We know that from Season 3 in Stranger Things, it was believe that Hopper was dead. We believe that he died when the Russians killed him due to the machine. But it was found out that through the post-credit scene in season 3 that the Russians were talking about the American, which fans theorized to be Hopper, but no one was 100% certain. And in season 4, it was confirmed that Hopper is alive and he was in Russia. Now, I do not believe that Hopper will die. Hopper has been through so much stress, so much trauma. As we know, he has lost his daughter, Sarah. He got trapped in Russia. He was a prisoner. He fought Demogorgons. Hopper has been through so much, and I do not believe that Stranger Things and the Duffer Brothers will kill off Hopper in season 5. I believe that Hopper will be safe, and I have further proof and evidence to back this up. So if you do not want to see this proof and evidence, it is actually a leaked image from the set. I do heavily recommend that you click off the video right now. And okay, so I'm going to be diving straight into this image right here, which is actually being leaked from the set and filming. So as we see, we have Jim Hopper, and the most important thing about this leaked image is actually within the background. As we can see, it is a movie theater, and the most important thing from this movie theater is actually that it reveals Indiana Jones and the Last Crusader. So we know that Indiana Jones and the Last Crusader did actually release in 1989, and the events of Stranger Things season 5 are going to be actually happening within 1987. Which means this scene could very likely be after the events of season 5 has occurred, after the final battle with Vecna has occurred, and we see this scene of Jim Hopper back in his police uniform and in the year 1989 following all of the events, and he has most definitely survived. Okay, and in this next one, I'm going to be covering Joyce Byers. Now, the same as Hopper, I believe that Joyce is very unlikely to die. And why do I believe this? Because I just feel that the Duffer Brothers and Netflix won't kill off Joyce. I feel that Joyce is such a beloved character by many. She is many people's favorite characters. She is such a good mother to Will and Jonathan. And she is such a fighter, and she's very strong. I do believe that she will not die in season 5. So I do not believe she will die in Stranger Things. It's very unlikely for her to die. I believe that from this image right here, during the 49th week of filming, we're hearing that multiple cast members were filming in a restaurant set, shooting at Enzo's scene. The scene reportedly involves Hopper, Joyce, and various extras. So we know that Hopper and Joyce did have a Enzo's date arranged in season 3, but that never happened, as Joyce was at Mr. Clark's house discussing about the magnets, and Hopper did actually go to Enzo's, but Joyce was never there. So I do believe that this filming at the restaurant set of Enzo's will actually occur in the year 1989, which follows the events of season 5 in 1987. And I believe that the characters of Joyce and Hopper will be at this cafe or restaurant, Enzo's, and be actually having their dinner date that they did organize in season 3. So I strongly believe that this will be after the time skip, after the events and battles of Vecna, and I believe that Joyce is actually very likely to survive. And here we have two fan favorites. We have Steve Harrington and we have Dustin Henderson. And I'm actually going to be discussing these two characters together because I did actually rank them as very unlikely to die. I do not believe that Steve Harrington or Dustin Henderson will die. I believe it is very unlikely. I know a lot of people are actually thinking that Steve will die, but I myself do not think so. Steve is such a beloved character. Dustin is such a beloved character. Steve's story arc and redemption arc since season 1 has been many fans' favorites. Steve is such a fan favorite character, and Steve is also my favorite character in Stranger Things. And I'm also going to uncover a leaked image to do with Dustin and Steve. So if you do not want to see that, then click off right now. So in these images right here, we actually see Steve and Dustin. And many people believe that this is actually Steve seeing Dustin off to college. As we can see that Steve does appear to have a haircut, and Dustin also has tattoos. As we can see from the image on the left, on his arm he does actually have tattoos of bats. I believe that Dustin has gotten these tattoos of bats in honor of Eddie Munson, as we know that Eddie did die to those bats in the Upside Down, and these bats could be a symbolism to Dustin of Eddie, to remind him to be strong like Eddie, to remind him to fight like Eddie. We do very likely know that these tattoos are symbolism of Eddie for Dustin, and we can see that the two characters are hugging each other, and we see that they're both very happy, they're both smiling. I do believe that this will be in the time skip in 1989, during around the same time period where the Enzo's restaurant scene is happening. I believe that this will be one of the final scenes with Steve and Dustin, and if this is in the time skip, then it is very almost confirmed that Steve and Dustin will not die in the events of season 5. So next up we have Mike Wheeler, and I actually ranked Mike Wheeler as very unlikely to die. And I believe that Mike won't die because Mike is the key of the party, as Will said. Mike is the leader of the party. Mike is the heart of the party, and Mike is a fighter. He is very strong, and I do not believe he will die in season 5, and I do have a reason for this, a very strong reason as to why I think he will not die. And this reason right here is actually a spoiler, so click off if you do not want to get spoiled. But as we see from these leaked images from the set and filming, we can see Mike on the left. We also see Mike sitting with Hopper on the right. And I do strongly believe that this scene will be happening during the time skip in 1989. And I believe we can see Hopper and Mike sitting down together. I believe this could very possibly be them talking about the death of Eleven. I do believe Eleven is likely to die, and the two of them share a very strong connection with Eleven, as we know that Hopper adopted Eleven, and Hopper is Eleven's father, and Mike is Eleven's boyfriend, so they both have a very strong connection to Eleven. I believe that this will be a very emotional and heartfelt scene with the two of them sharing about 11. So I do believe that it is very unlikely that Mike will die in season 5. So up next, I'm going to be actually covering both Lucas Sinclair and Max Mayfield together. And for Max, I believe that she is likely to die. And for Lucas, I believe that he is unlikely to die. Now, within season 4, we know that Max actually did go into a coma, and she will be in this coma in season 5, and we do not know 100% if she will come out of this coma, but I believe that she is more likely to die than Lucas. I believe that Lucas is quite unlikely to die, but he is less likely than Max, and I believe that Lucas is more likely than Dustin and Mike to die, and also less likely than Will to die. But I reckon if Lucas was to die, but I still reckon he is unlikely to die, I reckon he will die saving the life of Max Mayfield. So I very strongly don't believe that both Max and Lucas will die if one of them dies. I believe that it'll be one or the other to die. I just believe that if Max dies, then it will be her saving Lucas's life and redeeming herself because she feels guilty for the death of Billy. And if Lucas dies, I reckon that it will be because he is saving Max. But I believe that Max is likely to die, and this could possibly be because she might possibly be stuck in the coma all season, and Vecna might possibly just kill her, which very unexpectedly might happen, or maybe she might never wake up from the coma. But I do believe that she will wake up from the coma, and I do believe that she is a little bit more likely to die than Lucas. But I do also think that Lucas could very possibly be die, but I reckon it is unlikely, as I reckon Lucas could possibly save the life of Max while she is in a coma, and Max might possibly wake up after the death of Lucas, but I do not think it is very possible for Lucas to die. And up next, we have Jonathan, and I reckon that Jonathan is very likely to die. As we see here, we have these two scenes which were revealed in the teaser trailer for season 5. So I reckon Jonathan is very likely to die in season 5, based on these two images. Now I reckon, as we see here, this looks like a very heartfelt and emotional scene of what we can see Nancy and Jonathan actually in what looks like to be the Upside Down, and they do look to be holding hands to each other, and this would quite possibly be a heartfelt scene with Jonathan possibly confessing to her that he is ready to sacrifice himself, or he is going on a very dangerous mission, and I do believe that he quite possibly will die in season 5. A lot of fans are actually theorizing that he is very likely to die, and from this image here, we do actually see Nancy crying. She could very possibly be actually mourning the loss of Jonathan and crying within this bathroom setting, washing blood off. We know she has blood on her hands and blood on her sweater. This could quite possibly be her washing the blood off of Jonathan. Off from Jonathan. And here we have Nancy. Now, I actually believe that Nancy is unlikely to die. And I believe that Nancy is unlikely to die because I do feel like Jonathan is likely to die. And I feel like Nancy might possibly end up with either Steve or Jonathan. Most people and most fans have a preference of if they want Nancy to end up with Jonathan or Steve. And I reckon that Nancy will survive this season, and I do believe she'll be very sad if Jonathan does die. And if Jonathan does die, I believe that he will possibly be getting killed by maybe a Demogorgon or Vecna, and this will be him sacrificing himself to save maybe the life of Will or maybe Nancy. And Nancy will be very sad by this, but I believe that if Jonathan does sacrifice himself, Nancy is very unlikely to die. And I just believe that even if Jonathan doesn't die, or if Jonathan doesn't sacrifice himself, I believe that Nancy is still unlikely to die. And I didn't rate Nancy as very unlikely to die because we do actually know that in season 4, Nancy was under the trap of Vecna. She got possessed by Vecna, as she does have trauma from the death of Barb. Nancy feels to blame for her death. Nancy feels very guilty for the death of Barb. So we know that this might make Nancy a target and victim of Vecna, but I believe that is very unlikely for Nancy to actually die in season 5. And here we have Robin. Now I believe that Robin is very unlikely to die in season 5. I believe that Robin is unlikely to die just because I do not believe that Robin will actually be in the heart of combat in season 5. I believe that characters who are more likely to die will be in more combat, and I believe that Robin won't die in season 5. I believe that Robin might possibly be helping. We know that Robin and Murray were actually seen together within the trailer, and this could very possibly mean that the two of them are going to be together in season 5 for the majority of the season. They could be doing a mission together, and we saw them next to the truck, and this truck actually looked to be getting attacked by a Demogorgon, and I do not believe that Robin or Murray will die in season 5, just because I do not believe that they will be at the heart of the battle. I reckon they will be in the background and like giving information or strategies. And here we actually have, I'm going to be discussing both Karen and Holly Wheeler. And for the character Karen Wheeler, I actually believe that she is very likely to die. And for Holly Wheeler, I believe that she is unlikely to die. Now, we do know that episode is called The Vanishing of Blank Wheeler, and I do believe that it is either going to be Karen or Holly that goes missing. I believe that it is more likely to be Holly that goes missing, and the reason for this is because I believe that Holly will actually get possessed by Vecna. And I believe that Karen is much more likely to die because I believe that Karen will actually sacrifice herself to save the life of Holly. As we can see here, we have leaked images of a hospital set or hospital notes of Karen Wheeler with the patient name and progress notes revealing that the patient, a 43-year-old female, presents with discomfort in the throat, chest, abdomen, and shoulders. She reports laceration-related injuries from a Demogorgon. So this reveals that if this is correct information that has been leaked, Karen Wheeler is in Hawkins Memorial Hospital following the attack of a Demogorgon. And I believe that Karen is likely to actually die in season 5, not necessarily 100% from this Demogorgon attack, as she, if this is real, has been transported to the hospital and she is not dead. I do not believe from this progress note. I believe that Karen could likely become possessed by Vecna. She could possibly maybe bleed out from this injury, but I do not believe that from these progress notes. I believe that she is not dead yet, but she quite likely will die with, I believe, will be her actually sacrificing herself and saving the life of Holly Wheeler. And in this image here, which has been leaked from behind the scenes, we actually see Holly Wheeler and Henry Creel. And I do actually believe that this image shows Holly in the possession of Vecna, and I believe that this Vecna is showing Holly a flashback from him in the 1950s. As we see, he is wearing a retro, what appears to be a 1950s suit, and I reckon he lures Holly in and tries to kill her, but I reckon Karen Wheeler will actually sacrifice herself and take the death for Holly, which saves Holly's life. Here we have Murray, and I believe that Murray is very unlikely to die. Murray is a very funny character. He is comedic relief, and I just believe, the same as Robin, I believe that he won't be in the front and center of the fights like characters like Levin will be. I believe that he is going to mainly be a background character for support. Like Robin and him, we know that they are together and they have most likely been going on a mission together with the truck, and this truck most likely gets attacked by the Demogorgon, but I do not believe that Murray or Robin will die. I believe that they are both very unlikely to die in season 5. I believe that they will, if getting attacked by the Demogorgon in the truck, manage to escape the Demogorgon or kill this Demogorgon. And very last but not least, we have Erica Sinclair, who I believe is very unlikely to die. The same as characters such as Robin and Murray, I believe that Erica will not be front and center of the fights. I believe she will mainly be background, like, as we do know that in season 4, she was not fighting, rather she was giving the walkie-talkie communication saying it is okay to go. I believe that she will not be front and center of the fights, and I believe that she will be like Robin and Murray, not at center of the fights and giving support and backup to the characters if or when needed. So those are all my predictions of how likely characters are to die in season 5 of Stranger Things. If you think differently to me, or if you have any predictions or theories in the comments, make sure to leave a comment, and a like and subscription will be very much appreciated. Thank you all so much for watching, and goodbye.